At a recent town hall on CNN, that was aired on CNN, where you both were taking part of, I think you opened a lot of eyes as to who sets the rules for who gets allowed on the stage at presidential debates. And that's the Commission on Presidential Debates, which is full of Republicans and Democrats. Now, of course, they set these rules to benefit themselves and pretty much silence all opposition. And what could you say to people that are tired of that kind of corruption and system rigging? And how could we fight back against that and open up the debates? And what do you think the parameters should be set, or who gets allowed into debates?
Thank you. Very critical question. So much depends on democracy, as we've seen here, with these financial control boards. When you destroy democracy, you don't have much of a fighting chance on everything that depends on democracy. So we're saying it's really critical. Americans not only have a right to vote, we have a right to know who we can vote for. There are 4 candidates who are on the ballot for just about every American. At the same time, we know that Americans have rejected these 2 establishment candidates that are being forced down our throats. $4 billion worth of free media is what has been given to Donald Trump. Over $2 billion worth of free media is what's been given to Hillary Clinton. Our campaign has been given almost nothing other than that CNN 1 hour of prime time. We, the people, need to stand up and say no to this system that is trying to force feed us more of the same. In fact, more of the same on steroids that's pushing us over the edge. In the last election, my running mate and I were arrested just for trying to get into the grounds of the debate. We are insisting that these debates be opened up to all 4 candidates, that the rules not be set by what is essentially a private corporation run by the Democratic and Republican parties for the purpose of silencing political opposition. That is not what democracy looks like. That is what tyranny looks like. That is what an economic crisis, an environmental crisis, a healthcare and education crisis looks like when we do not have democracy to bring our values into the direction of this country. Democracy needs a moral compass. This argument about the lesser evil, settling for the lesser evil, is an absolute outrage. It's been a race to the bottom between the greater and the lesser evil. By silencing ourselves, we allow a moral vacuum which is filled by a predatory political party, whether it's the greater or the lesser of the evils. So we are saying it's time for us to get together. We have a petition with 90,000 signatures right now. So we encourage people to go to our website, jill2016.com, and sign that petition, send it out to everyone you know. We will be delivering that petition before long, and there will be a series of actions leading up to the debate at Hofstra. We're also sending the message to Hofstra University that any university that presumes to be on the side of education, which should be about open dialogue, any university that is a self-respecting education institution should not be in the business of hosting a debate that censors the American public at a time that people are clamoring. A poll just came out yesterday showing that 76% of the American public is clamoring for inclusion of alternative candidates besides the 2 major candidates that people have rejected as the most disliked and distrusted ever in our history. So I encourage people not to go silently into this dark night. We Americans have too much at stake. This election is not just about what kind of world we are going to have, but whether we are going to have a world or not going forward. Looking at the crisis of climate change, there will not be a voice for how to fix climate change and the severity of the crisis if we are not in the debate. There will not be a voice about the reality of these wars against terror that have only created more terror, which are bankrupting us. There will not be a voice for a generation of young people who are locked into predatory student loan debt without a way to get out of it. So we are in crisis. We are the only campaign that is not bought and paid for by Wall Street, by the big banks, by the fossil fuel giants and the war profiteers. We need to be in that debate so that the American people will have a voice in that debate and direction over our future.
I think you touched on most of the points. I would just add very briefly that what Dr. Stein laid out suggests what the historic challenge is, that we have to build a people's movement, that while it's important for us to vote, that's very important, we understand that we can't have a viable democracy without a conscious and organized people. So this campaign is about that. It's about voting, but it's about going beyond voting also. It's about having the instrument that the people need to have in order to have an effective voice. So we want to emphasize that over and over again, that this campaign is about building a powerful people's movement. That's the only way we can protect and advance democracy here in this country.